Howdy ho! I just want to talk about something that my friends and I have been talking about for a while. This concerns video games. So the other night, my buddies and I, we were playing video games. One of my friends in particular has a lot of consoles. He has Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One. He has a Super Nintendo. He also has a Nintendo 3DS. So he has a lot of consoles, and this is just for one singular sole friend of mine that he owns. All these consoles that he owns. And we were just talking about games and stuff, and games from that we used to play as kids growing up, and games of today, and in the next 5 years from now with the next consoles that we have, and it really formulated an idea in my mind, at least, that for as long as video games have been out, the industry, which goes back to like really the 70s, really, or video game consoles, at least like 80s for the consoles. Console wars really don't matter much anymore. You still get some fans or some people on the internet, which 9 times out of 10 are kids or teenagers, but even get some young adults too. They're still in it. Console wars, Xbox is better than PlayStation. Here's the reason why. Da 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 da. PlayStation is better than Xbox. Here's the reason why. Or Nintendo is inferior to both Xbox and PlayStation. Here's the reason why. And even though some of those statements may be true from certain aspects and to a certain degree, I think over the last 5 years, the console war has really been frivolous and pointless. Here's why. For me, I'm a child of the 90s. I was born in 91. So I was born in the year, where the console wars was just starting between Sega and Nintendo. And during the mid-90s, and as I became a child, I grew up and played video games, the war was already started, and I was smack dab in the middle of it as a kid. And during that time, PlayStation had put their feather in the cap, put their feather in the cap, and competed as well. But back then, back in the 90s, or I would just say the 16-bit era, the console war, it meant something. Reason being is because you had, two systems, and again, PlayStation ended up throwing their feather in the cap in 95. You had certain games that were exclusive to certain systems. It wasn't just the whole thing in terms of graphics. I mean, graphics did play an important part, but not too much in a degree in that era like it does now. But games back then, for Sega, you had Sonic the Hedgehog, Streets of Rage, Rise Star, which were exclusive hit titles. Well, Rise Star wasn't too much of a hit because they only made one game, but it was still a very popular game nonetheless. Mario, you had Donkey Kong, and Nintendo, and Zelda. With PlayStation, you had Final Fantasy, and Metal Gear, and Tomb Raider. All these various games that were exclusive to these specific consoles and titles, which, made sense to say, okay, this system is better because they have these games here, and da 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 da. Today, 2014, is really kind of frivolous of really having a console war for people who still think that there really is a console war. I mean, there may be a war between these companies in terms of market share and how much they want to dominate in the gaming industry. But from a fan's perspective, from the consumer and gamer's perspective, and I'm in game design anyway, my view is that, the console war is just, it's dead. It doesn't really mean anything anymore. A lot of games that were exclusive to PlayStation have now opened up to Xbox. A lot of games that were exclusive to Xbox have now opened up to PlayStation. And some people may figure, okay, well, why all this change? Here's the reason why the industry's changed so much. Game designers and publishers and developers have the mindset of, hey, if I take, say, Grand Theft Auto, why make Grand Theft Auto exclusive only for PlayStation, where I may sell, say, 3 million copies of Grand Theft Auto just solely on being a PlayStation exclusive. But if I open it up to Xbox, I double that investment. I end up making 4 million copies. So it's all about the money, hands down, at the end of the day, as to why so many of these games that were exclusive to certain consoles have now opened up to multiple platforms. It's just to make more money and to, get as many people out as possible. If you're someone that doesn't play Xbox or PlayStation, let's make Grand Theft Auto for the mobile app. I'm not saying that's, I don't know if they've done that. I don't think they have, but I'm just saying, to give an example. I do know they did make a Grand Theft Auto for the DS, Chinatown Wars or something like that, which was successful. Nintendo is probably the only dog in the fight, even though they're the underdog. They're probably the only ones that still have exclusive titles, to their name, which makes sense because, those games sell better on their platform, like the Mario games, the Super Smash Brothers, the Donkey Kongs, the Kirbys, so on and so forth. So I just want to just put that out there. I just think the console wars today, I think is dead. I think the console war has been dead since PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I think the new wave of systems that we're getting now with PlayStation 4 and PS4 and Xbox One in particular, I think we're going to get some good games in the future from these consoles, and I think we're going to get some pretty decent exclusives from these next-gen consoles. But I really think the console war, to me, I see in my sight, has really ended with the Xbox 360 and PS3. And not just recently, but I would say over the last 2 years, I think the real console war has really ended between these two consoles, so to speak. You guys give me your thoughts on this topic if you're a gamer. I would love to hear your opinion. Comment, subscribe, do a response video. Peace.